you frequently advise startups, and I've seen some of those Google Hangouts, and you're pretty much of a straight shooter, and you sort of call some of the entrepreneurs on their bluff. Right? So I'm gonna. So this is a game. So I'm gonna tell you a quote, right, and then you tell me why it's a myth or why it's true. Okay? Ready?
Are these all quotes from me?
These are
Are these your personal quotes?
Actually, these are Derek's.
This is one of those. These are the things you look yourself in the mirror in the morning and go, "Okay, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me."
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so number one, if I only had money first, I could build a great company. Tell us why this is a myth or why this is true.
How many people feel that way? Like all they need is capital. Only you? Okay, how many of you are lying? Okay, just everybody raise your hand. Okay, good. Now we got it. All right, so here's the thing. Capital is really important, right? I mean, I'm not going to dismiss the need for fuel for your idea. The thing about it is that most people who reach the stage where they think all they need is money, they've skipped a bunch of steps, usually in that process. And there's the one that's kind of the biggest sin of all, and if there's only one thing you remember about this conversation, it's invest time and energy in the network around your idea from the very beginning. There's a lot of, how many people are engineer founders in the room? Okay, you guys are totally screwed, okay? You're the worst. I'm an engineer founder, so it takes one to know one, right? We build shit. We get our heads mixed in building stuff, and it's like our baby, and it's magical, and it's going to be wonderful. You can do a lot of customer development. That's great. That'll help you do it. But unless you build a network around your great idea that other people are fired up about, it's very, very difficult to get that first great customer, that investor that's going to be there. You need to build that network. Build those relationships early in the process because they'll pay dividends down the line. And almost just about every relationship you make will pay off if you can get that group to be fired up about what you're doing. Right? And the way you'll know if you've figured out how to get people excited about what you're doing is you bump into them at the next startup grind. Do they remember what you're doing? Okay? They might remember your face. Doesn't even remember if they remember your name. Do they say, "Oh, you're that girl who's doing that cool thing," right? Or "You're that guy who's doing that great whatever," right? So do they remember? Is it something memorable that's a hook for them that had them excited as you are? Because the challenge that most people have that think all they need is money is they've oftentimes done none of the groundwork. So when I get a cold email from you, "Hey, I saw you at that startup grind thing. You were really great. Here's my 2-pager, my business plan, my whatever, and I have no idea who you are." How do I even judge to give you any time? Now, I'm a sick person, so I might give you some time. But most people aren't sick like me. Most people are like, done, spam, archive, I'm not paying any attention to this, okay? But if there's a relationship that's gone along the way, right, where you've kept me up to date on things, I'm now interested in what you're doing, I'm familiar with it, that time when it's like, look, we're now out trying to get our seed round, or we're now trying to get a Series A. I may not be the investor, but now I have a way of vouching for you. There's some trust that's been built up over time, right? It might take you 6 months to get to a place where you need that, but now we have a relationship, not just a cold ask of, "Hey, can you connect me with somebody?" And since I deeply believe that if you think all you need is money, you're full of shit, the last thing I want to do is introduce you to somebody knowing that there's a high likelihood that you're full of shit, right? So skip a bunch of those steps and really have a relationship with these folks and get them fired up and build that network around you.